Hi there, my name is Rob. It's just like cooking, where you're trying to find that special ingredient to make all the difference. Now, like with cooking and art in general, it's often the small and simple things that touches the audience's soul. Well, it's not different with making music, where a surprising out-of-key note or out-of-key chord moves the listener. And one of these techniques is the chromatic mediant, which is the subject of this video, and very popular among film composers to create a certain mood that is often described as weird, unnerving, epic, inspiring, ominous, and mysterious. Let's find out more about these chromatic mediants and see what's the buzz. Now, to understand what a chromatic mediant is, we have to understand what a common mediant is. In a major or minor key, we can build 7 chords on each of the 7 notes of the scale. 3 major chords, 3 minor chords, and 1 diminished chord. For now, we take the C major scale as our reference scale. Now, the chords in this scale have either a tonic function, which feels like a homecoming chord, or a dominant function. This chord wants to resolve to the tonic and brings the music back home, or a subdominant function. And that often precedes the dominant or serves as a weaker dominant chord. Now, in a major scale, the 1st, 3rd and 6th degree are tonic functions. The 2nd and the 4th degree are subdominant functions. And the 5th and the 7th degree are dominant functions. Now, the chord with a tonic function, the 1st, 3rd and 6th degree, are the ones that are interesting related to the subject of this lesson. And that's the chromatic mediant. Now, the 3rd degree in a major or minor key is called a mediant. Now, the 3rd note in the scale is halfway between the tonic and the dominant, and this explains the name mediant. It's in the middle between the tonic and the dominant. And the chord has 2 notes in common with the tonic, and those are the notes E and G. So this tonic and mediant are very much related and therefore can have the same harmonic function. Now, the 6th degree is also called a mediant, but it lies below the tonic and therefore it's called the submediant. Now, the A minor chord also has 2 notes in common with the C major chord, namely the notes C and E. Now, again, this causes a strong relation between the tonic and the submediant. So it's no wonder that both chords can have the same harmonic function, which is the tonic function. Now, important to notice is that both mediant and submediant are a major and a minor third, respectively, away from the tonic. Obviously, both chords will play an important role in the concept of the chromatic mediant. Now, we're going to take it slow and get in depth along the way. So, a mediant is a diatonic chord that is a major or a minor third away from the tonic. Diatonic means that it is a chord that belongs to the key. In C major, the E minor or E minor 7 chord is the mediant, and the A minor or A minor 7 chord is the submediant. Now, when you play the mediant E minor in combination with the tonic C major, it sounds easing and peaceful, because both chords have the same tonic function. The trick that many film composers apply to get a more inspiring and ominous mood is to alter the mediant to another quality, or to alter the pitch with a half step, or even both. So instead of playing the tonic C major and the mediant E minor, they choose to play the tonic C major and the E major chord instead of the E minor chord, for instance. This changes the sound dramatically. The chords still have 1 note in common, the note E. If we alter the mediant in this way, we call it a chromatic mediant. It has 1 note in common with the tonic and 1 note that is changed in a chromatic way, from G to G sharp. We can also change it to an E flat major or E flat major 7 chord. This sounds even more mysterious. There is still 1 note in common between the tonic and the E flat major chromatic mediant, namely the note G. Now, the E flat and the B flat are changed chromatically. And finally, we can go nuts with the E flat minor chord instead of the diatonic mediant E minor. Now, the tonic C major and the chromatic mediant E flat minor have no common notes whatsoever. So this is a harsh chord change that sounds different from the other chord changes that we've seen until now. Chromatic mediant, where there are no common notes with the tonic chord and it has a different quality, like minor instead of major, we call a double chromatic mediant. Now, just a quick note before we go on. It's very nice to experiment with extended chords to create a richer musical landscape. For instance, if you change the progression C major, E major to C major 7, E major, then you get a common note, extra common note B, which is the major 7th of the C major 7 chord and the 5th of the E major chord. Now feel free to extend your chords to get a richer sounding result. Just that you know. So looking at the overview of all the medians and chromatic medians in the C major key, we'll find one diatonic mediant, which is the E minor chord, two chromatic mediants, the E major and the E flat major chord, and one double chromatic mediant, which is the E flat minor chord. And I would say that the chromatic mediants are the ones that sound best and most cinematic. And later on, you will see that these are the chords that are used in pop and rock too. Now the submediant is the chord on the 6th degree. Combining this chord with the tonic results in the same peaceful tonic sound that we've heard with the mediant E minor. Also, the submediant can be altered in the same way as the mediant to become a chromatic submediant and even a double chromatic submediant. Now, the chromatic submediants are the A major and the A flat major chords. Both chords have one note in common with the tonic C major. The A major and C major chords share the note E, and it sounds like this. Or you could even try a C major 7 and A major 9 chord to get an extra common note B and an extra leading tone G, G sharp. Now the A flat major is also a chromatic submediant. And the A flat major and C major chords share the note C, and it sounds like this. Now the double chromatic submediant A flat minor has no notes in common with the C major chord, so it has less connection with the tonic chord. And it sounds like this. Now before we go on, it's important to know what parallel and relative scales are. I'll keep it short. Every diatonic scale has a relative scale and a parallel scale. Each major scale has a parallel minor scale, and the other way around. This is the minor scale that starts on the same tonic. For instance, C major and C minor are parallel scales. A major scale can also have a relative minor scale. This is the minor scale that uses the same notes as the major scale but has a different tonic. And this relative minor scale starts on the 6th note of a major scale. Like for instance the C major and A minor, those are relative scales. Now these concepts are important when dealing with chromatic mediants. Now the beautiful thing is that All mediants, chromatic mediants and double chromatic mediants, and that goes for submediants too, can be accounted for in a theoretical sense. Now, I told you just now what a relative major and relative minor scale is, like for instance C major and A minor. And we also learned what a parallel major and parallel minor scale is, for instance C major and C minor. Now, look at the overview. We can say that the chromatic mediant E major is the parallel major of the diatonic mediant E minor. And we can also say that the E flat major chord comes from the relative minor scale of C major, namely the C minor scale. And although the double chromatic mediant E flat minor chord does not come from the parallel minor scale C minor, it still is very connected to that scale by the notes B flat and E flat. Now the same goes for the submediants, which in itself is the tonic of the relative minor scale of C major. Now the chromatic mediant A major is the parallel major of the submediant A minor. And the A flat major chord is the 6th degree in the parallel minor scale C minor. Although the A flat minor chord does not come from the C minor scale, it is still very connected to that scale by the common notes A flat and E flat. So borrowing chords from parallel keys is an established theoretical and practical concept, which applies not only to chromatic mediants. The name of this technique is called modal interchange or modal mixture. And it was extensively used in the Motown 70s music, and especially by Stevie Wonder, who was a true master of modal interchange. Now also in the minor scale we can use chromatic mediants that sound a little different and are awesome for creating that mysterious, inspiring and dramatic mood. Now we take the relative minor scale of C major as an example, which is the A minor scale. Now in this scale we have 3 minor chords, 3 major chords and 1 diminished chord, just like in the major scale. Now the mediant is the chord on the 3rd degree, the C major chord. And the submediant is the chord on the 6th degree, the F major chord. Now playing these chords in combination with the tonic creates a peaceful and even hopeful sound because of the mix of the minor tonic and a major mediant. Now the first chromatic mediant we come across is the C minor chord, which is the parallel minor of the diatonic mediant C major. And the C minor chord has one note in common with the tonic A minor, and that is the note C. Now the two chords together sound like this. The other chromatic mediant is the C sharp minor chord that has also one note in common with the tonic, which is the note E. And the C sharp minor chord can also be found in the parallel major scale of A minor, namely the A major scale. The tonic A minor and the chromatic mediant C sharp minor together sound like this. Now the double chromatic mediant is the C sharp major chord that has no notes in common with the A minor chord and sounds less connected in conjunction with that tonic A minor. Now we can do the same thing for the submediant, which is the F major chord in the key of A minor. Now the parallel minor of F major is F minor, and the F minor chord is the chromatic submediant in the key of A minor. It has one note in common with the tonic A minor, and that is the note C. And both chords together sound like this. another chromatic submediant is the F-sharp minor chord, which has one note in common with the tonic A minor, and that's the note A. Now the F-sharp minor chord is also the 6th degree in the parallel major scale of A minor, which is A major, of course. Both chords, A minor and F-sharp minor, together sound like this. Finally, we have that double chromatic submediant F-sharp major, which has not a single note in common with the A minor chord. It has some relation with the parallel major key A major, but it's not an A major diatonic chord. The A minor and F-sharp major chord have less connection than the chromatic submediants F-sharp minor and F minor. It sounds like this in combination with the tonic A minor. Now, a real nice trick is to chain chromatic mediants to extend the mysterious mood over a more evolving progression. Now we could do something like this. The G-sharp minor chord is followed by its chromatic submediant E minor, which is the minor parallel of the diatonic submediant in the key of G-sharp minor, and that's the E major chord. The chords are connected by the note B. Then the E minor chord is followed by its chromatic mediant G minor. The chords are connected by the note G. And the G minor chord is followed by its chromatic mediant B minor. And the G minor and the B minor chord share the note D. And finally, B minor returns to its chromatic submediant G sharp minor, and they are connected by the common note B. Now here's the progression using this chain of chromatic mediants. And by the way, such a chord progression can also be called a common note modulation, because of the modulation from key to key to key, and every time you have a common note. Now it's mostly film composers that use these chromatic mediants and chromatic submediants and the modulations that come forth from this technique. Still, there are many pop and rock songs that use this too. I will give you a few examples of well-known songs and well-known pieces of music that use chromatic mediants and chromatic submediants. Now, in the Star Wars movies, there are lots of passages to find where the composer John Williams trusts the force of the chromatic mediant. The most striking example is the Imperial March, which is the theme of the character Anakin Skywalker when he's turned to the dark side and becomes Darth Vader. The chords in the Imperial March are the C minor chord and the chromatic mediant E flat minor. The note that connects these chords is E flat. Also in the movies of the Lord of the Rings, there is plenty of use of chromatic mediants and chromatic submediants. One very clear example is the love theme of the mortal Aragorn and the immortal Arwen. I guess Tinder mismatched them painfully in this one. The chords used by composer Howard Shore are the tonic A flat major and the chromatic submediant F flat major. The common note is the A flat. famous rock song and one of the early psychedelic songs of the 60s that uses a chromatic submediant is the song Light My Fire by The Doors. The A minor 7 chord is combined with the chromatic submediant F sharp minor 7 that comes from the parallel major scale of the tonic A minor. The common note is the note A. Now the last example I want to show you is the song of a band that has made so many beautiful and well composed songs. And one of those songs is Head Over Heels, and the band's name is Tears for Fears. That consists of only two talented guys, Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith. Now the verse of the song starts with the tonic A major and changes to the C major chord, which is the chromatic mediant of A major. Now the common tone is the note E. Now other examples of chromatic mediants are Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode, which uses a C minor and an E flat minor chord. The intro of the song Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chilli Peppers, which uses a C major and an E major chord. It Won't Be Long by the Beatles, which uses a E major chord and a C major chord. And Morning Bell by Radiohead, that uses an A minor and a C sharp minor chord. Now the chromatic mediant is a powerful tool to create a mood that holds between unnerving, weird, epic, inspiring, fantastic and ominous. Because it has a strong relation with the concept of parallel scales, it can also be seen as modal interchange. And because of the common note concept, it can also be seen as a common note modulation. So you see many of the same theoretical concepts do overlap and are often the same thing more or less. Anyway, it is a very strong composition tool and ideal for film music. So experiment and make beautiful music with chromatic mediants. Have fun! Bye!